In this video, we shall discuss about the topic operating system from chapter 1. Okay. So, this video is actually will be helpful for you during your exams. Okay. So, I will just explain the key words given in each paragraph or under each topic, so that it will be easier for you to revise at the last moment. Okay. It will not contain any detailed explanation. The main objective of this video is just to revise during your exams last minute revision. Okay, so I will just explain what are all the keywords and the important points you have to remember from each topic. Okay, so yes, we shall start. In this first paragraph, the information available is, it is definition of the operating system and some examples of the operating system. Okay, so we shall see first about the definition of the operating system. So what is an operating system? Operating system is basically a software. Okay, so the function of the operating system is, it manages the hardware, it manages the resources of the computer system. It manages the resources of the computer system. So, resources means we can say the hardware component as well as the software component of the computer system, isn't it? Okay. So, hardware means it includes CPU, RAM, memory, disk, network connections between the computers and also the I.8 devices. So, all these things are controlled by the operating system. Okay. And next, it also controls the application softwares. Application software is nothing but MS Word, PowerPoint, Excel or your browser. So, all these comes under application software, and also it manages the system security. So, how it manages the system security? It prevents the unauthorized user as well as the data to access the computer system. Okay, so that is how it manages the system security. So, how we can prevent the unauthorized access? By setting passwords, login systems, isn't it? So, these are some of the ways to manage the security of the user as well as the data. And the next one is, you can handle access by different users. If different users wants to access this computer system, then that is also handled by the operating system. Okay. So, this is the definition of the operating system. So, that is why the operating system is called as a resource manager. Okay. So, it is called as a resource manager. So, this is the definition of the operating system. It is the resource manager. It is called as the resource manager. Why? Because it is the software. It manages the resources, which includes the hardware as well as the software components of the computer system. Hardware components mainly CPU, RAM, memory, disk and the network and the I.8 devices. And the application softwares can be MS Word. I will reduce the font size so that it will be okay. So, MS Word, PPT, Excel, browsers, etc. Okay. And system security. It prevents the unauthorized users and the data to access the computer system. So, that is done with the help of setting passwords, login, and also avoiding preventing permission from unauthorized users, and also it handles the access to different users. Okay, so this is about the definition of the operating system. And the next one is examples of the some popular operating systems. So we all know that Android, which is used in our smartphones, okay, iOS, Windows used in our computers or laptops, and Linux, Unix are some of the examples of the popular operating systems. Okay, and the next one is, so that is given in the first paragraph. In the second paragraph, we have the objectives of the operating system. So there are two main objectives of the operating system. The first one is provide services to the build or run an application program. For building and running the application programs. Okay, so how it helps in that? First of all, when an application program wants to run, then the operating system will load the program into the memory. Okay, and next the operating system will assign the program to the CPU for execution. Okay, so that is how it provides services for the application program. And the next one is it provides user interface, or it provides an interface to the user. So how it provides the user interface? So it acts as a bridge. Okay, operating system is the bridge between the user and the computer, because the user cannot give instructions directly to the hardware components or the software components of the computer. So it needs a medium, user needs a medium to convey his command to the computer. So the operating system, it acts as an interface or a bridge between the user and the computer system. So what is a user interface? User interface is again a software. It is a part of the operating system. Okay, so the function of the user interface is to take command from the user and gives it to the operating system to process. So that is the function of the user interface. Okay. Okay. So now we shall go through this paragraph so that you can understand it more clearly. So an operating system is considered to be the resource manager. Resource manager means it manages all the resources of the computer. So resources can be hardware, which includes the CPU, RAM, disk and the network and other input and output devices, and also it controls the application software. Okay, so application software means it can be MS Word, PPT, Excel, browsers, etc. And also it controls the device drivers and it manages the system security. So how it can manage the system security? It prevents the access of the unauthorized user or data to the computer system, and also it handles access by the different users. So different users means different operating systems. The users with different operating systems can try to communicate with each other. So it will handle all those things. And so it is the most important system software. Operating system is the most important system software. Okay, so I'll include that also here. And next one is the examples of the operating system are Windows, Linux, Android, etc. And the objectives, primary objectives of the operating system. There are two objectives. The first is to provide services for building and running the application programs. So how it happens? When the application program needs to be run, the operating system will load the program into the memory and it will allocate the program to the CPU for execution. When multiple application programs needs to be run, the operating system will decide the order of the execution. Okay, so here we can include that point also. Multiple application program needs to run, operating system will decide the order of the execution. Okay, and the second objective is to provide an interface to the user through which the user can interact with the computer system. So an user interface is a software component. It is a part of the operating system, and the main function of the user interface is to take the commands or the inputs from the user to the operating system to process. So that is about operating system. The definition of the operating system, examples of the operating system, okay, and the objectives of the operating system. So there are two objectives. The first one is provide services, and the second one is to provide an interface to the user. So this is what given in these three paragraphs. So in the next video we shall discuss about the different types of user interface. Thank you for watching.